Yeah. I think everything is working, so yeah. Hello, guys. This is me. Cargo pants. And, well, as you can see, I have like this little dude in the corner, and it is actually my first piece of fan art I received. So, yeah, essentially, I'm going to be reviewing the OGL, and what I need to do is essentially thank Stahu for making this piece of fan art, and thank you all for 18 subscribers. My goal so far is achieving 20. After that, I will aim for 50, and then I will like aim for probably 100. After 100, it will probably be like 200, then 500, and then 1000. I hope I manage to get like to 1000 subs in a year. Though I watch a lot of like tutorial videos which say that I can do it in 6 weeks, so I'm not going to set it like as a goal, but I think that we should aim for the highest possible outcome, so I'm going to be fine with whatever. But so yeah, let's try to do this. Let's try to like get me to like 1000 subs within like 2 months, probably. So essentially, as we can see, Wizards of the Coast updated the OGL. Wizards of the Coast are the guys that did D&D, and well, they are basically owned by Hasbro, and we all know that I'm not a fan of Hasbro. Quite the opposite, actually. And well, this new OGL is essentially everything that I didn't want for D&D. I used to play out of D&D, but then I like noticed how all the cool options in D&D are essentially not really balanced around each other. So some of them are super strong, some of them are like pathetic, but I played D&D anyway because I like TTRPGs. Then I actually have a history of playing Dungeons and Dragons and essentially needing to homebrew everything. I essentially literally had like a notebook, you know. I mean, that technically wasn't really a notebook, that was like just a bag of notes, like literally, essentially a bag with a bunch of like pages that had essentially ways to fix already existing D&D classes like Monk of 4 Elements, where I essentially turned him into like a half sorcerer by giving him just spellcasting and allowing his key points to essentially work like meta magic, but a bit differently. Okay, so let's get to it, so you won't click off this video. So over here, like we can see, WotC essentially released 23 years ago an open gaming license. That's what OGL stands for, and 1.1 will essentially like probably mess up everything. So yeah, what this thing does is, if you earn a lot, aka more than like 750 a year, which I can like over here you can see, which essentially just changes to my like value from my country. And I'm going to tell you that's like 7,000 on my local currency every day. Probably. So yeah, let's just check it a bit. Yeah, that's not important right now. Essentially, they want to take a cut, and well, already that's like a very huge number. Like creator that makes this much money already makes more than my mom in a year. I mean, they make like probably more than my mom makes in a month in a year. So yeah, you need to pay like 25% of your stuff, or 20% if it's a Kickstarter, if I do remember correctly. And well, for normal players this won't be really big changes. They say, but it will probably change everything. But fortunately, also another thing happened when I was like waiting until today, because today is pretty much like the only day. By that I mean like the earliest day I could make this video without being interrupted, because you know, like normally I pretty much can only find a moment to have like my house be quiet for like 1 minute a day, so that's why I make shorts. And yeah, that's why it's so so much. But you know, like D&D Shorts channel and XP to level 3 essentially just stopped subscribing and decided to tell them to tell their fans the same thing. This is D&D Shorts. I like this guy really much. Not really. I don't want to click on the thread. But yeah, that's essentially it. And now we have RC license. From Paizo. Wait a moment. Well, Paizo essentially decided to make their own gaming license, aka Open RPG gaming license. Well, Pathfinder 1E is a thing which essentially uses the open gaming license from D&D, but their new game that exists like for a few years, aka Pathfinder 2nd edition, probably my favorite game ever. I moved actually from D&D to Pathfinder 2nd edition a while ago because, well, I was against Pathfinder at the start because, like, there are a couple of annoying people that discouraged me from it, but then I decided to, well, let's read the rules, and, well, I actually tried it, and actually the game has way better balance, way more classes, and is way more flavorful and customizable. So I don't play as much D&D as I used to because I showed Pathfinder to my friends and they admitted that Pathfinder is also better. And we started playing Pathfinder then. And, well, Pathfinder 2nd edition does not really use the OGL, but same as Starfinder, but Paizo, which essentially makes everything, and most of their stuff is not with OGL, like one of the things is just made with OGL. So essentially they really don't have any business with doing stuff. Already they are an amazing company, they like set stuff for playtest and actually listen to their fans, and, well, D&D doesn't do this. They just show something for playtest, they just, hey, do you like it? If you say no, they just make some change. If you say you like it, they just put it in the game, and they may make the change themselves, but with Paizo they always listen to their fans. And, well, right now they don't really have anything to lose from the new OGL, but they decided to, like, take their own money into their hands just to, like, essentially take all the stuff to court and stuff like that to make their own license with people that originally made the first OGL, which was, like, the only reason for D&D's success. Because, let's not lie, there are, like, 2 good adventures that are, like, canon. Most people just do their own homebrew works and stuff like that. And, well, with Pathfinder, they not only put out way better character options within way less time, with way less funding and way less stuff like that, and when D&D publishes a book for like $60, Paizo publishes a book that is twice that size, aka essentially $120 in your essentially $120 worth of material, essentially, at least to the by D&D standards, that is way better quality and way better in terms of pretty much all of the other stuff, and is, like I said, double the size for just like also $60 or $50. And, well, I bought the Pathfinder core rulebook. I mean, Starfinder core rulebook. They give, like, the pocket cover, which is a smaller version of the book for like half the money also. So yeah, that's great. And as you can see there, Paizo wants to make a gaming license for essentially just like D&D and every other RPG. They fund it and they team up against Hasbro, and once again they have nothing to gain from this. Not only Paizo is so community driven that it's amazing and I love them for this, but now also they literally have nothing to gain from this, and they literally help their competitors. They spend their own money to help other RPGs that are essentially their competitors. They help their competition because D&D is essentially run by greedy people, and that's essentially just a party of all of these small corporations along with Paizo just fighting for the freedom of gaming. So if you didn't know, then you probably just should play Pathfinder. Also, like with D&D, you can get all of the Pathfinder material without pirating anything for free. You can legally check for material on a website that is called Archives of Nephis, and that's just amazing. They give away all of their stuff for free. If you want this in a physical format, it's like way cheaper for way more value than D&D, and this is way more creative, way more balanced. And with D&D, during combat, I usually literally just sit there and wait for my turn. And during my turn, I usually, if I don't play a spellcaster, I usually just throw a bunch of attacks. And if I'm a spellcaster, then, you know, there's like 90% of chance that all you will pretty much do as a wizard, for example, is just throw around lightning bolts and use silver barbs or shield on yourself. If someone actually hits you, which they won't because they will attack the tank of your party. So essentially that's just lightning bolt and silver barbs. Or fireball. But I personally prefer lightning bolt. So yeah, that's essentially that. And well, now it's time to essentially still just talk about this, because this is not just informational, but it's also like podcasty, I guess. That I think that it really is time. This is not even about opening D&D and stuff like that. In my opinion, looking at how lazy D&D is, they give you just like flat classes that don't have really anything except their subclasses and stuff like that. And everything is unbalanced and stuff like that. Like, literally. Cleric has just one balanced subclass. And it is its worst subclass. And Bard. The worst Bard is an Whisper Bard, you know? And guess what? The best rogue is an Arcane Trickster rogue. And Whisper's Bard is just like an Arcane Trickster rogue, but way better. Can cast better spells, has a better thing as its key ability score, and also, if the Whisper's Bard decides to multi-class into Warlock one level, it gets so good, like so cool. So essentially, the best rogue is equal to the worst bard. Meanwhile, in Pathfinder 2nd edition, every class is equal, unless your DM is really bad. Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing. Unless your DM is really bad, then your classes all are essentially equal. Or one person just has some real luck, like on my table. Like there's one guy that plays more like orcs all the time, and well, he crits like almost every time. Like he like missed one time in an entire campaign. And also he like failed a save when we got into some PvP. He critically failed a save against my chill touch when I was playing cleric. And don't get me wrong, that PvP was initiated essentially because I was playing as like a priest that essentially was going to jail, and they were like prisoners, and I needed to like stop them before we like established a party and just joined each other. So basically what I'm saying is that Pathfinder is a better game in every way, and you should play it over D&D, especially in terms of company, because you know pretty much everything in Pathfinder has contribution from fans. When was the last time that something actually changed in Unearthed Arcana to make it well and balanced? No. Wizards of the Coast essentially keep making things that are just more powerful because they don't really know anything about game design, and they run adventures. I'm going to tell you, World of Dungeons and Dragons in 3rd edition was gold, and then they started to slowly change everything to make it way more family friendly. While Pathfinder has everything you can do seriously, and you can also get some of comedy. Like you can see comedy. Actually, there are funny things in Pathfinder. Literally, there are feats that are named funny things. For example, Inventor. Actually, it has soul. Pathfinder 2nd edition has soul. While D&D can only get soul if the players and DM just put it into it. That's why everyone pretty much plays homebrew settings in Dungeons and Dragons, because all of the pretty much normal settings in D&D and adventures feel kind of soulless. And well, as I said before, Pathfinder is way better in my opinion, especially because it's not run by Hasbro. So I'm going to stand on that hill, and especially you should try to buy some Pathfinder books and stuff like that, because Pathfinder, I mean Paizo, literally have nothing to gain from making the ORC license, but they still make it and put their funds into it. Of all people, Paizo. Essentially their competitor that would essentially, if they made this license, everyone would pretty much just quit D&D, the new OGL, I mean. Everyone would probably just quit D&D and move to them. And, well, most RPGs wouldn't exist without it. So they would essentially just delete their competition, and Pathfinder would be probably number one if the OGL kicked in. But Paizo is altruistic to the point that they decided to put their own funds to keep their competition alive. People at Paizo are some of the nicest people ever, and they actually listen to their fans. This is huge. This is just huge. So yeah, we have the hashtag OpenDND. So yeah, let's check it. So you can read all of this, but I'm going to tell you that in short because I already made this video really long and I'm a very fast reader. So essentially, from what I know, the new OGL is essentially going to not only take the cut of the money, but essentially all the things that you made with D&D, Wizards of the Coast have the essentially rights to use. They can essentially take your things without paying you any money. And once again, let me bring up Paizo. Paizo, probably if you made some homebrew, instead of trying to squeeze the money out of you and taking it without asking you and stuff like that, they would probably try to pay you for making this homebrew just so they can include it in their game, and they would probably ask to hire you, which is essentially give you a pretty well paid job. So yeah, and so they can not only Wizards of the Coast will be able to take your stuff, but if you take this, if they take the kit, you must delete it. They can like order you to delete this stuff, and they can later just essentially pretend like it never existed from you and take it as their own. And if you try to actually do something about this, they can also additionally, not only that they took your content for free that you spent time working on, they can literally sue you. They can take your stuff away, essentially commit fraud, and then sue you for wanting any recognition for your work. Oh yeah, and also they can like provide you 30 days notice to essentially change everything about the license. They can just publish a 30 days notice, and well, they can change everything. So yeah, that's essentially it. And well, Critical Role was originally made in Pathfinder. And well, they for some reason changed to D&D. I'm not sure if it's just because D&D was more popular, but this is just my theory. This is just theoretical. And I need to point out that this is just theoretical. This is not a fact. But possibly Wizards of the Coast could have paid them to switch these things. And I need to say that this is not an accusation, but just a theory that is a possibility. So they can't really sue me now for saying that, because if this would be untrue, then this could technically be defamation. But what I'm saying is purely theoretical and hypothetical. And I'm pointing this out so they won't sue me. So essentially that's like my little theory. And well, probably since it's all started with Pathfinder, I'm pretty sure Critical Role will try to return to Pathfinder after that, because if Wizards just sends this, they would lose a lot of money on all of their merchandise and stuff like that. So switching to Pathfinder would be the best choice financially, and they would actually play like a game that is balanced. Like with D&D, I usually don't even count monster hit points. Yes, I admitted to it. I don't count monster hit points because most of the monsters either annihilate the party or just die in one turn before they can even do anything. Yeah, that's the level of balance that D&D has. Two monsters of the same CR, aka challenge rating. But in Pathfinder it's way better. So that's essentially my take on it. So yeah, they can essentially commit what would probably be a crime if they didn't give this agreement. And well, they put an agreement under it to essentially just like be able to legally commit a crime. And well, this only thing this can do is cost a bunch of people their livelihoods. This will literally probably not even profit Wizards of the Coast. Because, like, not everyone will sign to it, and, well, this will technically, probably, be a partial loss. So, essentially, there's only one logical conclusion from this. Why they did the money thing. Because, like, literally, Critical Role and Dimension 20 are the only people that will still have a reason to play D&D. Because it's their brands, but they will technically probably still rebrand, is to shut down a bunch of, like, homebrew projects, mostly on Kickstarter. Well, they actually said that it will be less on Kickstarter royalty. It will be 20 instead of 25, but we all know why they did this. Like, they tried to turn down the eye, essentially to make our eyes look away from Kickstarter as one of the reasons as they did it, because it has, like, lower fees. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that they did this probably. Essentially, once again, a theory, so they can sue me. That it's to shut down the big Kickstarter projects like Fool's Gold. Because, as we can see, most of the stuff that Wizards do is not really high quality, especially when we look at not only Pathfinder, but at what the community does with D&D. So, yeah. Nobody plays vanilla D&D, pretty much. Yeah, my friend once ran Lost Mines of Fendelver, which was a campaign, and, well, it was so boring that I needed to make a joke character. Essentially, it was a hobo that essentially grabbed a hammer of a warrior that was so filled with revenge that he stayed in the hammer. So yes, that was a half-baked paladin. And yeah, the game was only cool from the narrative standpoint. And, well, it was because we derailed it. Because first things first, of course, like, the hobo that I played, of course, use like joke attacks as like Eldritch Pierce and keep, like, doing stuff, which ended in, like, which of course was, like, agreed on and stuff like that, to make sure that other players are okay with it. So essentially, which once again, I'm not going to say that I'm some sort of player that should end up on RPG horror stories, but because of it, we initiated, like, PvP. Of course, like, we were playing with a ranger and a monk, so they wouldn't stand a chance, but he essentially attacked them a few times and then went to sleep. And once again, which was meant to happen, they took his dead body to a cathedral that was in the town. and they burned him with the cathedral. And later he returned as the final boss, which was essentially just a copy of the character it turned into, because like later the armor like survived and the ghost within the hammer controlled the armor. Then essentially the final boss was the beefed up version of him, because our minds on my Discord server, that is about RPGs and stuff like that, are just giant. Our minds are the greatest of all. So yeah, and we took over Red Brands and started a revolutionary army. Yeah, that's what happened, because the original story was kind of boring while if you play Pathfinder Adventure Paths, then you will probably never get bored. So yeah, the whole thing over here is just a sham, and since Wizards of the Coast is took over by Hasbro and stuff like that, we need to actually like show them who's boss, and the best way to do this is to probably move to Pathfinder and stop playing D&D, especially if big creators do it. Which let me just check how is the other RPG called that I wanted to recommend, because I'm not just some sort of Pathfinder fanboy. I mean, I kinda am, but I'm not just some guy that does all of this to glorify Pathfinder. Oh yeah, that's how it goes. So essentially, not only Pathfinder, but also I think that Call of Cthulhu is pretty great. Though I don't like that I need to like throw away my characters every 5 minutes. It's pretty cool. And you should also try Cogent RPG. And also with my friends, I'm working on a brand new system that will also be pretty good. And right now it's only available in Polish, and it's not really public, because it's only public to pretty much our server and some other like big RPG Polish server. And yeah, that's for my shameless advertising. These are essentially just my thoughts, my personal histories with both system and stuff like that, my experiences and my solutions. Oh yeah, and if you think that Pathfinder may be a bit too hard for you, then I think that you should try Path Builder 2nd edition, which, well, as you can see, I can just select anything I want, common, uncommon, and rare. Also Dragon, that is first party. And with all of this stuff that is fully automized, and you can even do your things levels in advance, as you can see over here. This is my character from like my past session, that is over here in this card, which is a desert campaign, which if you can read Polish, then you probably realize this. But that's essentially it, I think. Once again, thanks to Stachu for making this wonderful piece of art that I will be using right now as my profile picture from now on. And well, this is essentially my solutions and stuff like that. And if you want any type of video in the future, then just ask me about it. I try to respond to all the comments, which is not usually a lot, because like my most popular video got like 3,000 views and I got like 2 comments on it. And yeah, I want to go viral again, so that's why I'm going to upload this stuff, like a short also, because I need to keep up the shorts algorithm. And I'm going to try to upload every day from now on. Just to remain well. And yeah, that's it. If you want to like know more about the system, you can request this. If you want me to check out other RPGs and give my opinions, you can request this also. And if you want me to react on some sort of video, of course, video within like YouTube TOS, then sure. Just request this and I will be on my way to make the video. Also, if you want to like give some fan art, then probably just like type that you want to make fan art, and I will probably like just give you I will probably just like make an fan art email, and I will try to like take it, but of course I don't take any zip files and stuff like that. The only thing I will probably just take is PNGs and JPEGs, because I'm afraid to get like viruses on my computer and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you very much for staying this long. This really means a lot to me. I love all of you guys that stayed over here. Unless you are a horrible person, then I don't love you. But if you stayed so long, then you probably are a good person that wants to help a small YouTuber out. And yeah, that's it. I'm always there to record a video for you guys. As long as it's within my boundaries of capabilities. And yeah, for the next 2 weeks I'm going to have like a lot of free time every day, so I'll try to record as much videos as I can and help you guys out with everything you may want to need. And yeah, now I will probably end the video because in 20 minutes I'm going to go out with my dog, and you know, I need to feed my dog, I need to go out with my dog and stuff like that, and then I will probably be playing in one of my Pathfinder campaigns or D&D campaigns probably, but we already play less of them and stuff like that. And well, one day I may actually like stream a campaign like Critical Role and stuff like that. And if my audio and stuff like that is troubling, then sorry, but I am like really poor. Our currency in Poland right now like kind of dropped, and all of my money, all of my savings and stuff like that is now just worth precisely about $30 or so. So yeah, actually I make like start a GoFundMe to get a Blue Yeti mic or something like this, because right now my setup is completely garbage, and if I play a game that is like in less than lowest quality, which you can see I play Heroes of the Storm and I need the lowest graphics setting to just run it without major lag. I still have lag, but no like major lag that just crashes my game. Then like, please just tell me if the GoFundMe is a good idea, and once again, like and subscribe probably if you want to see more of this. And once again, I love all of you, almost all of you guys, from the bottom of my heart. Unless Kevin is watching it, then not all of you. And if you are like Kevin, then I don't love you. I probably hate you. If you're like Kevin. Not pointing like any famous Kevin. I'm just talking about like a Kevin that I used to know. Essentially, like I used to know. If you want me to like tell the story of Kevin, then probably also like and subscribe. And yeah, without further ado, I need to finish this video. So yeah, goodbye guys.